Coming in 30 years, the tagline, Chris Adams, Robert Adams. Since that seems to be the trend for naming legacy sequels lately, that's probably what we're going to see.
That's stupid.
Oh.
Still muted. Cool. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Wednesday night. That means it is time for the tagline. We are the Cinefanatics. My name's Robert Adams.
I am Chris Adams.
And we got a show.
We do have a show.
There's a show tonight.
We're
going to do a show.
The show where the tagline is the title of the show.
That is that's the show that we're going to do, yes.
It's the tagline of the show, the tagline.
Yeah.
It's actually the title of the show.
So I'm changing lighting around, and I feel like the lighting change that I made, I was fine right before we went live, but now that we're live and I know people are actually watching, I kind of feel like this kind of looks like a late 90s music video. If it just had that fisheye lens, this would look like a Puff Daddy video, guaranteed.
I was leaning Boys to Men, but okay, it works too.
The more money we come across, the more problems we see. No,
he set himself up to sing, and it's just that's not acceptable. You can't be doing that.
We will not accept this. We will do better. Anyways, how's everyone doing tonight? It's a fun night. It's Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Good, cool,
good.
Y'all know the YouTube things. Streamlabs.com/cinefanatics. Any questions, comments, issues, concerns, something or another.
Take it up with management.
Yeah.
That's that link.
Please drop a something there. That would be fun. Nice. Cool. Thank you.
The organization that owns us and runs us would like to see some dollar signs, please. Otherwise, we'll be canceled.
Yeah. And then there's also patreon.com/cinefanatics. If you have the means, whichever tier you feel like you can contribute to, feel free to jump on that. Yeah. Anyways, nothing new coming up with Patreon yet. We're at the end of we are at the very last day of the month. So starting next month, we will have the new Patreon dates for watch-alongs and movie trivia hangouts and stuff. So,
yep.
Anyways, that is what's going on there. Upcoming shows. We don't really have anything upcoming as far as I know planned right now. Other than that, tonight, after this is over, I will hop over to a fan's view of film favorites. We are watching Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, which I believe is the end of the entire Harry Potter movie series, and there were no other movies made about Harry Potter or the Wizarding World or whatever after that. So we're just going to watch that, and then...
Definitely not another trilogy.
Yeah, definitely not doing any more movies after that, so... that will be tonight, 8:35 Pacific, 11:35 Eastern, over on a fan's view. So make sure you go check that out if you like that movie or if you just want to hear us talk throughout the entire movie.
Fun fact, I never saw the last Harry Potter movie.
You should come join us.
Probably not going to do that because I would rather like to watch it without hearing people talking.
Yeah. Garth's got a good point. Apparently, the Harry Potter movies are leaving HBO starting September 1st. So we're going to start watching it. All of a sudden, it's going to stop working on HBO all of a sudden. We'll see.
Yeah,
this will be fun.
That's actually going to happen. You'll need to watch your own copies. Everybody needs to watch their own copy. Otherwise, you will be cut off in the middle of your stream tonight.
That would be fun. Well, I'm still going to play it off of HBO, and we'll see what happens.
I'd recommend not doing that.
Well, let's see. I'll let Vernon know and see what we're going to do with that.
This is going to be y'all's face if you do that.
Are you sure it's not going to be like this? Ow, this hurts my...
Guys, pointing at something behind him hurts him.
I was bending my hand back for this, so...
Fancy.
Anyways, how are things going, Chris?
Things are going swell-ish. So... I had my physical therapy yesterday. Those of y'all who don't know, I do physical therapy because I have muscle issues.
He's broken
still. They apparently last a long time when you're an adult. These things take forever and a half to heal. My physical therapist told me to roll around on a tennis ball. Boom, right there. So I did that earlier, and I've never experienced a pain like that in my entire life. That was literally the worst. Literally the worst. So if you guys ever were in a car accident, I would recommend seeking chiropractic care and maybe even jumping into physical therapy immediately, just to make sure your body stays whole, and don't wait a whole entire year before things start breaking down on you.
Yeah. Yep. So that's why whenever I'm in a car accident, I usually just go to the hospital anyways, even if I feel fine. It doesn't hurt. So
true. But don't always take what the hospital says as a guarantee. Still go get yourself checked up by other specialists too.
Yeah.
You never know.
Especially if you're not at fault. If you're not at fault, go get everything checked.
Absolutely. Then charge their insurance company. Anyway, we're not the legal insurance advice fanatics.
Got in a car accident, not your fault. Go see your urologist.
Call us at Adams and Adams. We will do absolutely nothing for you, but you could still call us anyway, because talking to people is nice sometimes.
So over this past week, or primarily just like the past couple of days, I have been working on trying to get myself prepared for doing my own thing on my own YouTube channel. Much like how you are running your gaming and hangout on Twitch, I'm going to do it on a YouTube channel, not at the same time that you're twitching. So that way we're not competing for viewers, but I am going to do kind of like
only so much time in the week.
Yeah, I know. I originally, my idea was I wanted to do kind of like a talking head video, like maybe like a 30-minute live stream talking about like specific things that aren't movie related. But then I realized I'm not prepared to maintain that. I need something else going on. So I dug out my NES Classic and I've got it set up. It's working. I've been playing it already. So I'm going to basically do that while I'm doing like some kind of a hangout chatting thing. So like you could see the way I'm envisioning is like Mario playing in the corner or something while I'm talking about like current events or whatever is the topic of the day type of thing. So
and just so y'all know, he's already defeated Ollie at Monopoly about 13 times since yesterday.
Freaking Ollie. Anyways, yeah, I do have Monopoly on the regular Nintendo. So yeah, that's the thing is my NES Classic. I don't remember how I did this, but like, I guess I jailbroke it and put like more games on there. So I've got a ton of classic NES games that were not a part of the original NES Classic lineup. So like, I can't remember what was or wasn't, but I know I've got like Monopoly. I loved Monopoly. Probably not going to play that too much on stream because boring. It's not fun to watch, but I've got like all the original Ninja Turtle games, Battletoads, like a ton of games on there. So we'll revisit some of those while we're talking about like why you shouldn't back your car into a parking space. So there's something like that. How you should talk to your customer service agents. Stuff that I know that is important to me, and therefore if it's important to me, it's got to be important to someone else as well.
It's important to just you.
No. There's so many people in this world that if it's something that you like or something that concerns you, it will concern other people too. So it's kind of cool just to have some way to talk about it. Some of it will be like nitpicking. The parking, backing into a parking spot is severely nitpicking.
You don't have to go into it right now. It's okay.
I'm not going to. I'm just saying it is severely nitpicking. I get that. I understand. But it's stuff like that. Like it may be important to me, may not be that important to anyone else, but if it is important to someone else, cool. I'm going to be sitting here talking about it. So, but yeah. Anyways, that was my plan. So I don't know when I'm going to get that up. I just now got the NES Classic working and stuff. So now my next move is working on graphics of how this channel is going to look when it fully comes up. But I would expect it I would like to have it up. I would like to have it up by my birthday, which is the 17th. But we'll see. I don't know.
You're getting old now. It's not just me.
Everyone's getting old every year. Every year people are getting older.
I'm getting young. I'm actually getting young. I misspoke. I'm
All
getting
right,
young.
Paul Rudd.
Everyone else is getting old.
Yeah. Anyways, so
just call me Benny Buttons. Hey.
Yeah. Lego. What is NES? Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. That's another thing I'm kind of hoping with that. Like, I know we have like a set audience that generally most everyone who's watching us familiar. We're all part of the community of the movie trivia schmodown, but there's a lot of people that might come on and like, what is this old ass game that he's playing? Wow, look at the graphics type of thing. Everyone else is playing like Call of Duty and Fortnite or whatever other super high graphics. Playing Mario.
Super high graphics. That's that's how an over 40-year-old describes Fortnite. Super high graphics.
I mean, well, how do you describe it? High resolution?
Just, I don't know. I don't really talk about the graphics ever.
Well, yeah, because you're never comparing it to anything. You're just playing a game. Anyways.
People are going to hop onto the stream and be like, who's that overall man? And why is he jumping on that angry mushroom? Did he step on a turtle too? That's mean.
Why does that piece of poop look like a mushroom?
Goomba.
Yeah, it looks like the poop emoji. Anyways, super high graphics. The title of your show while you vape and play games. Probably won't do. I don't know. Probably won't do too much vaping on there, but
yeah, you will.
I'm not a major vapor, but I don't know. Major vapor. Anyways, that's the personal stuff we have going on right now. So that's what I'm working on. I know we're still working on. We're about ready pretty much to get started with the Cinefanatics podcast. So that's coming up pretty soon too. Chris, would you say it's probably a safe bet that will start probably within the next month? Very likely.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to force my hand live to say it, sure.
That's the point. Anyways,
don't hold me to that.
That will be started very soon. So just keep an eye out on that. Anyways, that is what we're doing. Movies that we watched over this past week. Have you seen anything new lately, Chris?
Not within the last week. I haven't watched anything new. Been kind of busy doing some other stuff, but yeah.
Cool. I'll say, well, I don't know if you wanted to talk about your project that you were working on too. Speaking of personal stuff.
Oh,
I feel like you talked about it before.
My demo reel? Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it uploaded on YouTube. Again, it's not going to be something I share publicly just because it's footage I shot with another company. So we don't want that to be like confusing for clientele or other people who could hire me, but I might end up putting it up on our Discord so that you guys can see just what it is I work on and what I shoot when I do weddings. So yeah, otherwise I'm going to be trying to get some more work off of that.
So good stuff there. If y'all want access to Discord, even $1 on our Patreon, you'll get Discord access. So that'll be good. Let's see, the new movie. The only two movies I watched new over this past week. I watched the remake of My Bloody Valentine, the My Bloody Valentine 3D that had Jensen Ackles in it. I like the original a lot better. The original was so much cheesier. The graphics were crappier, and it just feels so much like a better movie. This one's like, hey, y'all want to make a movie based off this old movie? Let's call it the same thing and see if we can make money up. Hey, let's throw the 3D thing in there too, because that's popular right now. I think it came out like 2009 or so. So was that the height of 3D graphics? They did a couple interesting things with it, but nothing really to write home about. And then I also watched The Prowler, which is another like cheesy 80s / early 80s slasher movie. It was all right. Really good graphics and special effects by Tom Savini. One of his
super high graphics.
Super high graphics. Really good like gore kills by Tom Savini. So if you like the practical effects, I do recommend checking that out. If you like storyline and characters that you care about, I don't recommend checking that out.
Yeah.
That is, you're watching it only for the kills.
That sounds like my cup of tea.
Yeah, no. So Malcolm says he watched the Aeronauts and Peanut Butter Falcon. I haven't heard of the Aeronauts. Peanut Butter Falcon, you've seen that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I haven't watched that. Is that another one of those that, like, if you're like having a rough day, if you're just like down in the dumps, that's a good movie to throw on too?
Peanut Butter Falcon's a pretty comfortable movie.
Yeah.
I feel good.
Because like the other day I was having like really bad depression issues and I threw on That Thing You Do. And just at the very beginning, just the opening song to that, I was already feeling better. And if y'all haven't seen That Thing You Do, two things about it. One, great movie. Highly recommend it. Two, the main song that they sing throughout the whole movie. And it will get stuck in your head.
Stuck in your head for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Especially if your father watches the movie 2 times a week.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a good song though, but yeah.
I quit. I quit.
I quit.
I quit. I quit.
Well, don't quit yet. We just started the show. We're only like 16 minutes in.
Oh, right. I'll quit at the end then.
Yeah, good time. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Well, there was an image we should cut out and use for something.
Absolutely. Make me a GIF.
So yeah, it was good movie. That's why I was wondering if like Peanut Butter Falcon is a lot like that also. Like
I keep feeling like you're saying it keeps sounding like you're saying Peter Butter Falcon. I'm like, that's Peter Butter.
Yeah, that's why I feel like I'm saying too. Peanut butter. Like I'm not enunciating it right. Peanut
Hey,
butter.
I'm Peter Butter. Come on over here and check out my wildlife birds. We've got falcons, we got hawks. We're really proud of our falcons over here. Come down on over to Peter Butter's Falcons. Come hang out. It's Route 2 and the exit 365.
Today I'm joined by my little partner, Jelly. It's Peter Butter Jelly time. What a stupid joke.
Less is more, man. Less is more down at Peter Butter Falcons.
And then Garth says that he watched Samaritan. I wanted to watch that. That looked kind of interesting, but the reviews on it have been they haven't been great, but it still sounds like an interesting concept. So Aeronauts is a Amazon Prime exclusive with Felicity Jones and Eddie Redmayne. Wasn't that the movie where he's Hawking, the theory of everything? Wasn't that Felicity Jones and Eddie Redmayne also?
Yes, but I think that's both of them. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's like Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone.
Or what's also becoming Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie and everything now.
Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Thought they were like only in...
Well, other than... Yeah,
sorry,
not
what?
yet.
Oh, sorry.
Anyways...
So come on down to Peter Butter Falcons. We got all kinds of crazy birds. We got yeah, you take that drink right now. We got eagles, not of the ball variety. We're not allowed to have that. There's a situation that arose last year. I don't really want to talk about it, but let's just say bald eagles.
You're not allowed within 50 feet of a bald eagle.
Not allowed within 50 feet of a bald eagle.
When you move into a neighborhood, you have to tell all the bald eagles that you're there.
Less is more down at Peter.
Oh, that's great. Oh, so hey, Peter. Hey, Peter.
Hey, Peter.
You want to get into movie news?
Hey, let's do it.
Oh yeah, I think there's a video we have to click on.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. This is what's happening in your world tonight.
We apologize for the interruption.
Back to you.
Real quick, as you're pulling that up, I'm gonna go turn on the AC because it's super hot in here.
Apparently, it's really hot in this apartment. We're gonna do the box office as read off by Patrick Warburton. Hey, you're number one. Okay, I'm not keeping that up.
That would actually be funny.
I like doing some voices, but honestly, like at some point they just get lost and they just trail off, and then I'm like, okay.
That's like
my regular voice.
That's like, you're familiar with this. Every time I try, except for like maybe one, every time I try to do some kind of like foreign accent, it always trails off into Borat for some weird reason. I don't know why.
You're like Peter. No, you're like Peter from I Love You, Man, who only does apparently leprechauns.
Yeah. Except if I try to do a leprechaun, my leprechaun is like, hello, I'm a leprechaun. It's nice. Like, why is it Borat all of a sudden? you took my pot of gold. Very nice.
My charms.
My lucky charms.
Oh my god! All
Why
right.
is it always Borat? Slapping the bass.
I like cereal. It's nice. The magically delicious. Okay. So let's talk about the box office, y'all. Let's go through the top 10. What's in the box office? How's it all hanging? Quiet box office right now. Just go with it. Quiet box office right now. Opening up at number 1. Can we guess what the number 1 at the box office is?
Is it still that Dragon Ball Z movie?
No.
Did something else come out this past?
A couple things came out this past week.
There was something that came out that I actually want to go see. Was it that what's that movie with John Boyega?
Don't think that came out this last week.
I wanna
Breaking.
see-
Yes, it did.
Breaking? Yeah.
Yes.
That
however,
looks good.
was not in the top 10, which is why I didn't immediately see it.
Oh.
That actually opened at number 15. Unfortunate.
It looks really good. That looks kind of like John Q.
That's what I was thinking.
Like he's going in and he's holding hostages or robbing a bank, but he's doing it with a extremely meaningful purpose. I think his has something to do with like military PTSD, stuff like that. So very interesting topic there.
All right, so no one has a real guess here because nobody really knows what came out this weekend. The number 1 at the box office this weekend is The Invitation with a $6.8 million gross. That means that's under $10 million is the number 1 spot this weekend. It's a quiet box office right now.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Invitation. That is, I believe that's a vampire movie, if I'm not mistaken. It's a movie I don't think I'm going to be interested in, but I believe it's got a, what's her name from Game of Thrones and the Fast and Furious movies?
Who was in Game of Thrones and Fast and the Furious? Nathalie Emmanuel.
Natalie Emmanuel, yeah.
Or is it Nathalie?
I don't think you pronounce the H.
Is it Natalie? Okay.
I don't think anyone's name is Nathalie.
Nathalie.
So that's number 1 in the box office. Number 2 in the box office, coming back up from number 3, is Bullet Train. So Bullet Train is at number 2 in the number 2 spot with 5.6 million. Number 3 this week is Beast. So number 2 and number 3 swapped from last week. It's that Idris Elba beating up a lion movie.
Yeah.
If you want to watch some lions get beaten up by Heimdall, that's your movie to go to right there. Number 4 from last week, still hanging out in the top 5. Top Gun Maverick is not gonna leave the box office ever.
So again, kind of like what I've been saying, pretty much ever since we saw that movie, that is a movie that, and I still it is available to watch digitally now, but I still haven't because I don't know. Like I feel like that movie is only worth like a theater screen. Like it loses a lot of its appeal if you watch it like on a computer screen or TV at home, unless you have a actual home theater. I don't know. So you haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched it yet here.
Not since the theater, no.
Yeah. Anyone watching, like in the chat, have y'all seen it digital?
Here's the thing. I think watching
compared to you've seen it in the theater and you've also watched it at home. Do you feel like there's a difference between them?
My opinion on this is see Top Gun Maverick. You have to see it in the theater at least once. See it in the theater, then watch it at home. It's a good movie regardless of the big screen.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that I will still love the movie just the same on my computer screen right in front of me, how it was meant to be seen, how Thomas Maypother III desired it to be seen.
Oh, wow.
Yep. On my phone while I'm lying in bed at night.
I'm in the movie with them. Like,
So that's that. And then number 5 is where Dragon Ball Superhero landed. The superhero landing for Dragon Ball.
superhero landing.
Speaking of super, number 6 is DC League of Super Pets, which, how long until that thing hits HBO Max? It's been out for 5 weeks.
I think that's the question for like almost anything at this point, not just that movie.
When is anything going to hit HBO Max?
So what I've decided to do with my life at this point is every time that we make a joke about something negative, we have to follow it up with like maybe a fun, positive fact. So in this case, I did see there was a news report that Harley Quinn's been renewed for a 4th season on HBO Max. So yay! You don't watch that. What are you cheering for?
I don't know. I was playing along with the positivity.
Oh, okay. Good job.
I like positivity sometimes. Most times. Number 7 is 3,000 Years of Longing, new release this week. That is where that movie landed at number 7, which is crazy for a George Miller. It's crazy for a George Miller movie, who's popular for the Mad Max films, of course. But
and Babe. Don't forget Babe.
And Babe. Just
what a filmography. Mad Max and Babe. And Babe Pig in the City.
Hey, he tried something different. He went with something different. And just the same, I think this movie is a little bit different from Mad Max. It's definitely got some out there imagery, as it seems, but definitely different.
Like
yes,
a better version of the live action Aladdin.
Perhaps
that Guy Ritchie gave us.
Perhaps. Garth is right in the chat. That is 2 Idris Elba movies currently in the top 10 at the box office. Unless he's got a voice role in DC League of Super Pets also, then that would be 3, but I don't know about that.
Idris Elba. Please don't get it right or get it wrong. Please don't get it right. Please don't get it right.
I mean, you're not wrong, but
should there ever be like some kind of a movie trivia competition? It might be nice to know the difference between Idris Elba and Idris Elba.
I don't know that it matters. Number 8 is Minions: The Rise of Gru. Number 9 is Thor: Love and Thunder, which that's hitting Disney Plus here in about a week on the 8th. So there you go. That'll probably be out of the top 10 within a week or 2 after it hits Disney Plus. And then number 10 is Where the Crawdads Sing. So Nope is out of the top 10. Elvis is out of the top 10. And Bodies are out of the top 10. Of note, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, did get a re-release, and it hit number 14.
Interesting. So I kind of want to forego like what we typically do after we're talking about the box office numbers. Did you see there was like this behind the scenes photo of what's his face? Kang, the guy who's playing Kang. Jonathan Majors. There's a picture of him like all like shirtless, all buffed up, and Simu Liu from Shang-Chi is sitting there like, "Good luck, Avengers, y'all are screwed."
Yeah, I tweeted that and I was like, "Bro, isn't this your problem too?"
Yeah. So I just thought that was funny. Simu Liu is a great person, but
he's a wonderful person. And he's also playing a Ken in the Barbie movie, and boy, does he have some thoughts to give. Did y'all see this quote? This is a wonderful quote. I love this guy. Simu Liu has teased the upcoming Barbie movie, saying he thinks it'll surprise a lot of people, which is great, by the way. I want to be surprised by this movie, but he thinks that it is insane, absolutely insane that Mattel signed off on this movie. Because this doesn't seem like the type of movie that a company would sign their IP off for, which gives me all of the good feelings, all of the anticipation, and all of that goodness in the world that I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be my speed. This is going to be an excellent movie, guys. Because he's thinking let me look at the quote. This is the type of movie that I love unabashedly. It's smart, it's subversive, and it's meta, and it makes fun of itself. if that does not get you excited for Barbie, I don't know what will. Other than Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie being in it, and the two of them are hot, but I guess so is Simu Liu and pretty much everybody else. What the hell are you doing?
I don't. It doesn't stop. Well, that's annoying as hell. Anyways, how's everyone doing tonight?
No, I'm gonna let you sit on this one.
This is what happens when you decide to play with your new light, like live on air, and you don't know how to stop it.
There's a select few rules that you should always follow in doing live content, which is
Testing
don't do
your
anything
light.
crazy live in the middle of your live content. If you didn't work it out or try it beforehand, don't do it live.
Garth, it's gonna do that through the Harry Potter watch along.
Yes.
I'm gonna turn that shit off for that. Robert was abducted by aliens.
Perfect.
I'm gonna be like what's her face on Saturday Night Live when she gets abducted by aliens.
And my hoot hoot, my poot poot,
my hoot hoot, my scoot poot scoot, whatever.
my boot scoot, my boogie.
Oh, good Lord. Anyways, moving on. So this is kind of funny. Talking about that there apparently is going to be some kind of movement, I guess, on a Nope sequel. I'm not exactly sure what this is, but was it Jordan Peele was suggesting that he could continue playing in the Nope universe, which is interesting just because I don't want to like spoil too much if you haven't seen that. Still fairly a new movie, but there's a lot of stuff that's still left to question. This movie, Nope, doesn't answer a whole lot. Not like, and we said this before on previous, like when talking about Nope. Get Out and Us, they pretty much answer what's going on. Nope really doesn't. They answer like a portion of it, but then they leave you with even more questions. Like, okay, cool. You told me that. Now, the hell is this now?
It doesn't hold your hand like the other two do in some ways.
So I kind of like the idea that he could come back to this particular story and maybe hold our hands a little. And
yeah. So without diving into it too much, there's basically a whole subplot of the movie that was kind of cut out. There is a scene that happens in the movie where I'll just say something or somebody gets shot from off camera, and we never find out who did the shooting, essentially. So there's a whole subplot with the character who actually did that. And this is what Jordan Peele is talking about, is that character's story is something that he wouldn't mind diving back into and telling in a completely different movie that kind of still exists, obviously, within the same universe. So, I'm all for Jordan Peele wanting to do his own world building. 3 movies in, and all 3 of them are pretty good movies. Obviously, we didn't think Nope was as good as the first 2, but of course it took us a little bit longer to wrap our minds around what was happening. But I believe upon a rewatch, it'll be much more fantastic this time. Yeah. The fact that he is such a talented creative filmmaker, though, is a testament to just his brain and everything. And I'm eager to see kind of a world building type situation from him. Again, I'm not a horror movie person, so the fact that you've got a director who produced 3 movies that constitute as horror in some form or fashion, and I enjoy all 3 of them, is a feat in and of itself, to be honest. So I'll take some world building. I'll take a whole movie about a subplot character.
Sequel will be named Nope Springs Eternal. And the individual copies of this film will be delivered to each theater in the bulletproof Nope-mobile.
I got nothing here.
Do you have anything, Chris?
No, hey, Peter, what about those Falcons? Okay.
Less is more, man. Less is more. Anyways, so moving on. I am super confused because I've never heard of this term before, but I don't think we've ever been like in a situation where this actually matters. But apparently there have been what's called funeral screenings for Batgirl. I don't know if this was a term before or if this is brand new now. I mean, obviously we know the Batgirl movie was canceled. Funeral screenings essentially sounds like the people who have access to the actual movie are still watching it like in private theaters to a select group of people. Just to like, well, here it goes. Good luck, soldier, type of thing. Yeah. That's kind of weird, though. Like, who has that kind of control over these movies? And is this an okay thing to do? Because I feel like after all the backlash, when they announced that Batgirl was being canceled, the internet just crashed. That was all over Twitter for like a couple of days. At least we talked about it 2 weeks later because we just so happened to decide, hey, let's go ahead and like take a break. Nothing's going to happen. And the internet collapsed over this news. And now it's kind of like if the Batgirl movie itself was an actual person type of thing, it's like, hey, we're just rubbing it in your face. You're canceled. We're not going to do anything with you, but we're going to show it to a select group of people. Like, it doesn't seem like that's in good taste. I don't know, like if there's like a good like tact to that.
Yeah, I have no idea. It's an interesting concept. It's an interesting idea. Obviously, I think it plays into some of the like tax write-off stuff in some way. I really don't know like the legalities behind that or anything. Obviously, like we know, like what I've mentioned before is we've heard from people who have worked on the set essentially, who have said that the movie just actually wasn't good and that it's actually great that it's not being released. So I'm wondering who those screenings are for. If it's just legitimately for the people who worked on the movie, just so that they could see the fruits of their labor essentially. Or what, but I don't know, because from what it sounds like, a lot of the talk has been that they tried to go back in and try to find the files of the movie also, and they've just been completely deleted. Like one of the directors, Bilal, he went in to try to like get the movie, and he was like, it's just gone. It's completely gone, which to me, I feel like that makes a lot of sense. One, I'm not saying it's good, but I'm saying it makes a lot of sense. And one, that if they're really running for the tax write-off situation, they do pretty much have to destroy the movie effectively in order to get that tax write-off, which just the thought of having to get rid of a movie completely in order to get a tax write-off is just bad taste in the mouth.
Yeah.
But two, what it tells me is that WB is trying to avoid a situation where you get a whole cult of random people online who are going, release the Batgirl cut. We know it exists. We know it exists. Release it. If it doesn't exist, you can't release it. So that's what it sounds like they're going in that realm. But as far
or
as like,
even the possibility of the joke that I made with it showing up like at conventions next to the bootleg copies of the 94 Fantastic Four, the Justice League of America TV pilot. It's going to wind up there.
Because like when that news broke out for all the internet to see, I think that was a moment that was surprising to everybody who actually worked on the movie too. I don't think they actually told anybody about that before they told everybody about that. And so what that tells me is that they had probably secretly already planned to remove the copies of the movie wherever they could be found, and only a select few people know how to access it. That way, nobody could copy it. That way, we might not see a bootleg version, but who knows? Who knows? I don't know how like all the different inner workings and everything goes, but maybe we might still.
Yeah. Yeah. This is also, I mean, kind of a side thing, but like what Lego's pulling up here too. This has to stop. This is absolutely ridiculous. The amount of people complaining about, like, whether it's like, say, Batgirl, if people are saying that it wasn't good because of a female-led movie, or like all the, what are they called? Is it incels?
Yeah, crazy stupid dudes.
Yeah, they're like, oh, well, She-Hulk is a woman, so we're not going to watch it because how dare a woman be able to, like, God, fuck all that. Get out of here. That's so stupid. Yeah, so I don't know how I feel about this, like, funeral screens. I saw some other article. I didn't click on it, and I probably should because I'm running a movie YouTube channel, so I need to be able to talk about these things, but I saw like some kind of article saying that they could still release Batgirl despite they're trying to use it for tax cut purposes. I don't know. I didn't read this. I don't know if you happen to see articles talking about that if you read it. But what those may mean, like I'm guessing they could potentially release it. They just can't release it for any kind of money. They can't release it for any kind of value. So it can't go anywhere that, like, it can't even go on HBO Max because you have to pay to get HBO Max. It would need to be something where it's released like on YouTube for free, as far as I know. You don't have to pay
even still.
You don't have to subscribe to anything. You just play it off of YouTube.
Even still, you're talking about it would be released. It would still have to be released on like a Warner Brothers channel. The only way that you don't get any money off of it from that is if you release it onto a channel that has less than 100 subscribers.
Well, no, you release it, but you don't monetize it.
Less than 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah,
no,
but you don't run ads.
The thing about that is it's still on a channel that is monetized, even if that particular video isn't. So I don't even think that you could upload it to YouTube in that fashion, because the channel itself is still monetized. It's still the channel of a major studio. They're still going to run ads on other videos. They're still going to make their money.
But those videos are making money. This video is not.
Yeah, I get that, but still, it still generates income for the channel because there's follow through, there's click through rates and everything. So
interesting.
There's other stuff at play there.
Yeah. So speaking of Warner Brothers, Ezra Miller has met with Warner Brothers. I think you've read more about this than I have.
Yeah.
In regards to Ezra Miller's meeting with Warner Brothers about The Flash.
Right. So Ezra Miller, we know that lately has come under fire even more. I feel like that's just a common phrase at this point. Ezra Miller has come under fire. They've come under fire because they've gotten, obviously, in a lot of trouble, been arrested a few times, been, charged with a couple things here and there. Apparently, they're currently out walking around free. I thought they were in a holding cell somewhere. Honestly, I didn't know Ezra Miller was not locked up somewhere right now, but apparently they're out walking free. Just met with the film chairs over at the Warner Brothers studio about The Flash, which is currently still scheduled to come out, I believe, July next year. Going through post-production stuff right now. Still, they're working on like visual effects and whatnot. One of the things that happened in that meeting, which the general consensus was that it was a very positive meeting, which, good for everyone involved, I guess. But one of the things that happened in that meeting was Ezra Miller was pretty much incredibly apologetic, from what it sounds like, to the film chairs about their behavior, everything that they've been doing lately. And was that way because the film chairs essentially said, everything is on the table right now in regards to what happens to the Flash movie. Meaning, if you don't straighten up, if you don't stop acting a fool, I'm paraphrasing, of course. Yeah. This is not like actual terminology that professionals would actually use. But if you don't stop acting like a fool, we are considering canceling the movie and taking the movie out completely. Something that a lot of people online have been clamoring for since Batgirl got canceled. They're saying, you canceled Batgirl, but you're leaving The Flash when Ezra Miller has been out here acting dumb.
Which again, we talked about that. That's like a weird to compare those. The Flash may not be a bad movie. It's just a troubled star.
And that's the thing right now test audiences for The Flash. It's testing incredibly positive. People are liking the movie. The people who have gotten the chance to view it in its form right now. The problem is it's a $200 million movie. Take into consideration they haven't started marketing on it yet either.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that marketing is usually about the cost of your movie as well, that's going to be almost a $400 million movie to essentially produce. That's a lot. Well, I'll say this. They haven't started marketing yet, so they haven't sunk the costs into marketing just quite yet. So there's that aspect to think about. But a $200 million movie, you do want to make the money back on in some form, even if you're just breaking even with it, which if they don't sink that much into marketing, hopefully they can break even on the movie. But also knowing that general audiences pretty much have no idea what's going on with Ezra Miller at all. They probably don't even know the name Ezra Miller or what person that name belongs to. Those of us who are in the film space doing this kind of stuff or on Twitter, obviously we're all very aware of who Ezra Miller is and what they've been doing. But general audiences who are like, cool, superhero movie, I'm going to go watch it. They have no idea about Ezra Miller. They have no idea what the whole thing is, which is why WB coming to Ezra Miller in this meeting and saying, we're prepared to cancel this movie if we need to, is a big deal for Ezra Miller. Because that is their starring vehicle in a superhero project. Nowadays, if you're an actor in Hollywood and you got a superhero movie, that puts your name and your image in front of the entire country, if not the entire world. That is a huge jumpstart for your career. And for a large group of people who have no idea who Ezra Miller is necessarily, to be able to see a Flash movie, because Flash is a popular character, to be able to see a Flash movie and see Ezra Miller's name attached to that character would be absolutely monumental for their career. Provided they stop acting weird. Because if they don't and that movie gets canceled, that's Ezra Miller's entire career kind of gone there.
If a major blockbuster movie gets canceled because of the lead actor's behavior, that's pretty much like one of the biggest black marks on that actor's resume throughout all of Hollywood. Good luck getting another job in Hollywood. That would be the ones where like, hey, you want to put me in your movie? No, I don't need you shutting down my movie too. I'm trying to get my movie actually produced.
Yeah.
So
I mean, taking into consideration that Ezra Miller is actually remorseful for their actions, for the things that they've done. They clean up, they fly right, they start taking on roles and stuff again. It would be nice for their career to have The Flash still be a movie coming out.
Yeah.
So that's why WB basically in that meeting saying we're prepared to cancel this movie if we need to. There's
also
huge.
Taking into consideration how pivotal this movie may be to WB, just because again we know that this will be slightly connected to the Flashpoint storyline, which was a good way to kind of reboot everything. With them trying to take this DCEU or DCCU, whatever they want to call it, into this new direction and basically build up like what Marvel has, this would be a good way to transition from essentially most of the crap that we got before into a good product. This is a nice way to bring your audience with that in that transition.
Yeah.
So this could be a very pivotal movie for them as well. So, I mean, I don't believe that they're necessarily wanting to cancel the movie on their end as well.
Of course they don't.
But I don't know if Ezra Miller is going to be able to call their bluff on that type of thing.
Not if they're directly telling them to their face, hey, we'll cancel this movie. Mm-hmm. Like it's their movie to cancel. It's WB's movie to cancel. If they want to cancel it, they can cancel it.
But I mean, coming from the viewpoint, if Ezra Miller does know and is on top of this, Ezra Miller may be looking at it like, okay, cool, cancel it.
And
go ahead, cancel that movie.
But yeah, which again, that goes back to not a good move for Ezra Miller.
No.
So,
both parties have something that they can really lose on this. I think it will affect Ezra Miller more.
Yeah, because WB is going to turn around and still make movies. They're still going to crank out movies. They'd lose a large chunk of change. It'd be very unfortunate for their pocketbooks as a studio, but they're going to turn around and make more movies anyway. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Ezra Miller, however, would pretty much be done career-wise. So that would be that's kind of the situation there. Interesting enough to see that meeting happened and kind of hearing from the outside looking in that it was a positive meeting bodes well for all those parties involved. I still don't know. I think the internet as a whole is still pretty generally unhappy with that. So we'll see. This is going to be, like Garth just said, the press junkets for The Flash are going to be wild. I don't know that Ezra Miller does press for this movie. Unless we get a lot of wonderful positive stories about Ezra Miller from this point until the movie releases and everybody's back on their side and goes, hey, you know what? You changed. You did what you needed to do. We love you now. We're excited for you. We're excited this movie's coming out for you. Unless somehow that all happens, those press junkets are going to be wild. And I don't think Ezra Miller's going to be a part of them.
Yeah.
Which is insane that your lead actor is not doing press for their big blockbuster movie.
Yeah. Which, I mean, and that's the thing. Moving on to the next storyline, talking about people or things dropping away from Warner Brothers. Legendary Pictures is also looking at separating and severing their ties with Warner Brothers Discovery.
That makes sense.
So Legendary Pictures is one of the bigger production houses for movies, specifically a lot of the DC movies. Most all of the DC movies, even going so far back as The Dark Knight, have all been done by Legendary Pictures.
They worked with Nolan a lot.
A lot of big movies like the Godzilla series, King Kong, those have all been done by Legendary. Detective Pikachu was done by Legendary. Some of the Jurassic World movies have been done by Legendary. So, I mean, there's a lot that they've had their hands in. And for them to just up and look for another partner instead of Warner Brothers, that's huge. I read some other thing that was saying people within Warner Brothers are saying abandon ship, just get out while you can. I think Legendary separating from them might be like one of the first indicators of that.
Yeah.
And it's just, again, I don't have a business degree. I feel like I have like a decent idea of how businesses run, but without actually being like on a board or having any actual say so, seeing like numbers coming in, like quarterly earnings and stuff like that, I don't know what's going through their heads and why things are going the way that they're going. I know from what we've seen in the news that Zaslav is trying to reduce the overall budget by like a couple of $100 million or something like that. So people are getting laid off, projects are being canceled left and right. And now we've got Legendary Pictures like, well, you know what? All of our stuff will probably get canceled too. So we're just going to go somewhere else where we don't have to deal with like your corporate.
And that's the thing. Their contract is, it's their contract being up right now. So they are free to make whatever decision they want as a studio right now. And, you know, what, as a production company, like what studio do we want to partner with and work with? I'll tell you this much. WB does have another offer for them out right now, of course. And obviously they're not 100% parted ways with WB just quite yet. But they are looking at other studios' offers right now. I can't remember what all. I know Sony and Paramount, I believe, are two major studios that are looking at trying to connect with Legendary. They would love to get that. Keeping in mind, Legendary owns properties like the Godzilla and King Kong franchise, and you know the big monsters. They own a lot of stuff. Why I would be more inclined to see them go with, say, a company like Universal over, say, like Sony or Paramount. Should they go in that direction, is that Universal owns the animation company of Illumination. I don't know if you know which direction I'm going in right now, but Illumination is currently the animation company that is doing the Mario Brothers movie that is due out at the end of next year, something like that. Whenever it comes out, they're the ones doing the Mario Brothers movie, the animated one that stars Chris Pratt, unfortunately.
That I will be playing on my stream. Well, no, not the movie.
Yeah. So if Legendary goes with Universal, that means a property known as Pokemon in its movie form also goes with them to Universal. Legendary being the ones that made Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
They have the film rights right now to the live action Pokemon universe, essentially. So if that's the case, then you start seeing Universal, which is already operating Nintendo lands in its various theme parks overseas, like say in Japan, and I think they are building one here in the States also. I don't remember if it's the Florida Universal Studios or if it's the California Universal Studios, but that's kind of a big deal because that means Universal as a whole can start courting Nintendo a little bit more, saying, well, you now have Legendary who did the Detective Pikachu movie with success. Hopefully they're hoping that the Mario Brothers animated movie gets some success so they can start courting more of the Nintendo properties. That's what I would love to see. I wouldn't mind Legendary saying goodbye to WB and saying hello to Universal there, but that's just me for completely biased Nintendo fan reasons.
Yeah, out of all of those, like I don't want to see them partner with Sony. Sony, I feel like it's kind of in the same position as Warner Brothers is with the DC, mainly because Sony is just, again, destroying like the Spider-Man stuff that doesn't actually involve
Sort of.
MCU.
Sony is doing great with Into the Spider-Verse.
Sure. But, I mean, anything else, I, again, don't have high hopes for Craven or Madam Web or whatever else they may be doing. But,
sure.
So I don't really want Sony to get that either. This Legendary's done good work, and I want them to go to a, like, partner with the studio that's going to help them, and they'll be helpful towards one another. I don't want Sony bringing them down either. I get kind of bitter about when studios ruin my childhood type of thing.
Yeah, that's another big one too. Dune Part 2.
Dune. Yeah.
The Dune franchise as it stands right now is a huge draw. So that's a big deal.
Yeah. So, yeah, interesting to see where that would go, especially how the movies are going to... I don't know, again, how the business is on this. Like, if they leave Warner Brothers and they go, say, to Universal, are they still contracted to finish off working on Dune for Warner Brothers?
Yeah, I believe that one is, like, specific movies obviously have contracts and everything drawn up. I'm pretty sure Dune Part 2 would still be with Warner Brothers.
I feel like that's like the business equivalent to... like you are living with your significant other and y'all break up, but you're still living with them. Like, it's a little awkward. Like, maybe you should finish this project off before you move. But
that's just how the contracts and stuff lay out.
Yeah. I don't know. One other thing we'll talk about, I guess, real quick. Speaking of Morbius, it's great news. It's coming to Netflix in September. No, screw that movie.
In Netflix this September, it's Morbin time.
I don't have too much to talk about on this. Apparently, there's a Beverly Hills Cop 4 that's going to be coming out. The last one was in 1994. So again, I see the studios are like, well, it worked for Maverick. Let's see if we can do this with Beverly Hills Cop also. And they're all adding like Joseph Gordon-Levitt and other, like, they're adding names to this. But
I don't know if this is like off the back of Maverick though, because that movie's only been out for like 14 weeks. It's only been out for a couple of months. Did they really turn around, sign everybody to a movie, get it written, and get it into production now, which it's in production now? Did they do all of that in a matter of several weeks after seeing the success of Maverick?
Well, so the way I believe it may work is it may have already been on the books. as far as like, yeah, we're going to do this eventually. But then after seeing the success of Maverick and you get someone like Eddie Murphy involved, they're probably like, oh yeah, let's fast track this. Let's get this cooking now. And that's what all of a sudden, boom, production started.
That means they would have had to have the script done for it already.
Potentially. Yeah. I feel like it's already filming at this point also. So
it is. They are in production now. Like we all found out about this right as they were going into production on it, which is not usual for most movies that are going to be of, moderate to big size.
Yeah.
That's the thing about this too, because I was commenting on having just watched Beverly Hills Cop 2 for our marquee for last week.
Yeah.
And I was saying, if it weren't for the marquee, I probably would have never gotten around to Beverly Hills Cop 2, or it probably would have been a very long time before I would have.
Unless they release a fourth one.
And now, and fresh after that, I was like, yeah, and can we guess how long it's going to take before I watch Beverly Hills Cop 3? Probably will never get around to Beverly Hills Cop 3.
We'll be within the next year.
Well, now there's a fourth one coming out, so now I have to watch the third one.
Yeah.
And it's like, I like Axel Foley. I like the character. I think it's fun. He's a fun character. I liked him in the first and the second movie. But I'm not like dead set on watching, the Beverly Hills Cop series. But now there's a fourth one coming out. We're probably going to watch it to talk about it on the channel. And so I was like, okay, well, I guess I will have to watch the third one, which is it's just funny to me. It should be noted too that the movie is called Beverly Hills Cop. Is it 4 or is it just Beverly Hills Cop Axel Foley?
I don't know if did they change the title of it?
It's like Beverly Hills Cop 4
Beverly
Axel
Hills
Foley.
Cop Axel Foley. Yeah.
So it's just Beverly Hills Cop Axel Foley, which again is taking off of the Top Gun Maverick naming scheme, which at least Top Gun Maverick works a little bit better because that was a nickname, that was a call sign, that wasn't his actual like real name. But
Axel Foley.
Axel Foley.
That's good.
That's exactly what it should be. So color me not incredibly excited, but we'll see.
We'll see. And real quick before we move on to the main topic, no, we won't have a fans view watch along of Morbius because there's no fans to view that. Anyways, moving on.
He speaks for Vernon's channel.
I will have words with Vernon if he wants to do Morbius. Because we're probably if we do it, we're going to just laugh at that whole movie and how stupid it is. I mean,
good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a fan's view of Morbius. It's Morbin time.
That's how you get people to watch. You watch a movie that no one likes.
It's true. It
might actually be internet content there.
Might actually be to the benefit of actually watching that.
Moving on to the main topic. I kind of like this. This was an interesting story. It was announced this past week that Matt Shakman?
Shakman.
I keep wanting to call him Shankman, even though there's not an N in there.
You like putting N's in people's names where they don't
belong. That's like apparently a thing I've been doing, like Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd.
Aykroyd, yeah. If you don't understand that, you need to be on our Patreon at the Maverick tier, or should I call it the Maverick tier?
Maverick tier, the top Maverick tier.
So you could join our movie trivia hangouts, where apparently I add ends to the names of like Dan Aykroyd. But yeah, Matt Shakman it popped up that he may be directing Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Especially because it was announced maybe a day before that he's dropping out of directing the fourth Star Trek Kelvin universe movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw mixed reactions on this, and I can understand why. One, the Fantastic Four movies have been through the ringer. Going back to the Roger Corman produced one in 1994 that was really only produced just to hold on to the property, was never meant to be released. All the actors, everyone involved in the production of that movie were all told this is going to be big summer blockbuster, big summer blowout.
Summer blowout.
I know you were thinking it.
Yoo-hoo, big summer blowout.
Anyways, so this movie was supposed to be released, and everyone like knew and were all pumped and excited, giving it their all. When in reality, they had no intention of releasing this movie, which is that's a shit way to be producing a movie. So there's that. Then of course we have the two Tim Story movies, which aren't bad. They're easily watchable. There's bits and pieces of them that have problems and issues. I don't want to go into all the details here, but there's still some problems with it. Then you got the Fan 4 Stick or whatever it's called. I don't even care to call it by the correct wrong name. I'm just going to call it Fan 4 Stick.
Which movie's better, that or Morbius?
The what?
Which movie's better, that or Morbius?
Oh, crap. I don't know. Here's the thing. In all honesty, I saw Fan 4 Stick one time, never watching it again. Fan 4 Stick, Morbius, and was it Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance? All three of those movies I saw once and will never view them ever again in my entire life. I will actively stay away from anything that is going to watch them. So no watch-alongs. I will decline them like, no, I don't want to watch this, whatever.
Yeah.
So the Fantastic Four movies just have not been treated with dignity and respect, which sucks because it really is like one of the first major like superhero characters groups in comic books. They predate Spider-Man. They came out in 1960 when Spider-Man was introduced in 61, got his own comic in 63, I believe. So yeah, the Fantastic Four is like a holy like group of superheroes to put into a movie, and they can't get it right. So that's what we're looking at with the Fantastic Four movies. And originally we were told that was it John Watts was going to be doing it? Yeah, which is fantastic. He's done a great job with the Sony MCU Spider-Man movies, Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home. He's done great with that. He seemingly dropped out of it. We're guessing he dropped out of it just because he needed a break from doing these big action, sci-fi, special effects things. Just that's a lot. I know the Russo brothers have also said they wanted to kind of step back after doing Endgame.
Yeah.
So I completely understand that.
So John Watts is stepping back partly for the break, but also because he's going to be working. I believe he's working on a Disney Plus Star Wars series as well.
Yeah,
so he's jumping into the Star Wars world to play around a little bit. Skeleton Crew
makes sense. I mean, if you want, that's the two you want on your resume: Marvel and Star Wars. Let's knock them both out.
Yep.
So that makes sense. Now, Matt Shakman, who directed a lot of episodes of WandaVision, was probably like one of the main showrunners, not the showrunner, but anyways, one of the main showrunners involved with that show. Which, again, going back to our marquee ranking of Marvel properties, that was one of like the top MCU shows, one of the top Disney Plus shows that I think we were ranking. They did wonderful with WandaVision. He doesn't really have that much on his resume outside of that. He's done one movie that wasn't super popular. He's done a lot of TV shows, a lot of like single episodes. I think WandaVision, someone correct me if I'm wrong, because I mean, I'm just not involved completely on all these shows, but WandaVision, I believe, was like the main one that he really had like a good control over. Everything else, he would like direct an episode or two here and there, but he really wasn't a creative control person.
That's Marvel's way of hiring directors, though. I mean, what were the Russo brothers doing before Winter Soldier? They did a few episodes of Community.
Yeah.
And I think they did Arrested Development also. So they did some stuff here and there throughout the space on like TV. Matt Shakman. So here's the reason I'm going to give you all the skinny on why this pick makes the most sense, if not safe. It's because Fantastic Four needs safe. Yeah. After the Tim Story movies, after the Fant Four Stick, whatever, this property needs safe now. which is why they were initially going to hire John Watts to do the direction on it, because he did some successful Spider-Man movies. He's a safe pick director to direct Fantastic Four. That's what we need. I feel like they were always going to look to and hire somebody who is already in the Marvel fold, who knows the direction, who knows how the MCU works, who knows the flow of it, how it's supposed to happen. And who better than first of all, Matt Shakman, absolutely inexpensive. He's an absolutely inexpensive pick in terms of who else you could get to direct. He knows the Marvel fold. He's been involved with WandaVision. He's had conversation with Kevin Feige plenty of times. He is a safe pick, but he's also a pick that makes the most sense, I think, in this case. I know a lot of us out here were talking about like, yay, a lot of people on the internet were saying like, hey, they should cast John Krasinski as Reed Richards. Well, then they put him in Multiverse of Madness, and we all saw, okay, he did fine. He did okay. There wasn't a whole lot special about his version of Reed Richards, so, we don't necessarily know if we actually need him for a full, for the full franchise. But what we could get is maybe getting John Krasinski to direct, which would actually be a fun pick, not necessarily the safe pick, but it would be a fun pick. There's a lot of directors that I picked for Fantastic Four who, were involved in the Disney fold of it. A couple of them over in the Star Wars side, like Bryce Dallas Howard, I think would be a fun one also for Fantastic Four. But obviously, these weren't the picks. They wanted to go with someone who was already entrenched in the Marvel world. So they go with Matt Shakman from WandaVision when they had previously gotten John Watts. That's why I think this actually makes a ton of sense. Why I think it's, right now it's rumored. I think it's likely. I think it's 100% likely. I think we are just a little bit away from it being announced, if not at D23.
Yeah.
That we will have Matt Shakman as confirmed as the director for Fantastic Four.
Yeah. And that was the thing, is that this was all talked about, but nothing was actually confirmed by Marvel. We've all been suspecting that Marvel's going to make its big Fantastic Four announcement at D23, which is, at this point, I would assume is going to be very likely that we're going to get confirmation on the director. And we will probably, I wouldn't be surprised if we also get casting announcements.
Yeah.
If we find out at the very least, bare minimum, we'll find out who we're playing the Fantastic Four. I don't think I'm almost certain, almost guaranteed that Doctor Doom will be in the movie, but we probably won't get that casting announcement yet. I believe, kind of like what you were talking about before, that there's a chance that we may get like a Doctor Doom type of announcement, or at the end of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
I think Doctor Doom is coming as a post-credit. This is completely my guess right now. This is not confirmed, so I'm not spoiling anything for you guys. My guess right now is that Doctor Doom will be in the post-credit for Black Panther. If you think about it, Wakanda Forever is going to be the last movie of Phase 4. So they're going to do something. They're going to do something big in it that leads into Phase 5. One of those would be introducing one of the biggest Marvel villains of all time. And his entire role with the whole Kang stuff and what's going to happen going forward, especially with Fantastic Four coming up. It just makes so much sense that Doctor Doom will be in it. So as far as I know, unless they're doing like he's in the shadows or he's completely CGI, Doctor Doom's already casted. They've already got someone for Doctor Doom, unless they're doing what I just said. He's hiding in the shadows somewhere. They're not showing his face or whatever. You know how it is. Doctor Doom already doesn't show his face, but that's not the point. So I think everything is done for Fantastic Four already. I think casting's done. As far as like the main cast members go, I think that casting is done. I think the director's already picked. I think they're already scripting and everything. I think all that's already moving forward. It's just a matter of when they want to announce it.
So do you want to touch upon the like any of the rumored casting that apparently has just recently come over like the past like 24 hours?
The only one I saw was an actor by the name of Penn Badgley as Reed. He's the only one that I've seen right now as rumored.
So there's a whole list of these characters. If we want to run through them real quick.
Yeah, go through it.
So for Reed, apparently it's coming down between Penn Badgley and Jamie Dornan.
Okay, that makes sense.
Jamie Dornan might not be a bad pick either.
Both of those make a lot of sense. If you look how, for diving into strictly appearances based in comics, they both look like Reed. But Reed is also kind of a very standard looking dude. So
I would look at like Jamie Dornan's character in Belfast. I feel like that was a good indication of how he could be as Reed, just like that fatherly figure who like he has to deal with like local crime bosses and stuff in Belfast. So I feel like that's a good like showing how people can antagonize him and how he still stays like the father. Penn Badgley, I really don't know too much about, so I don't know.
Which real quick, you have an image of him. So for those of y'all who don't know who Penn Badgley is, that's Penn Badgley right there.
Which I can see. I could see him being Reed.
He's 35. He's in the right age range that I was thinking for what the Fantastic Four is going to end up being, which is, Reed and Sue are probably going to be early to mid 30s, and Human Torch would probably end up being, closer to like Tom Holland's age, which, I don't know what the rest of this rumored list looks like, so I don't know if that all fits with what I just said, but that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So moving on to Sue Storm, actresses that are rumored to be considered. We've got Lily James, Amanda Seyfried, Philippa Sue, Jodie Comer, Saoirse Ronan, and Vanessa Kirby. That's a long list, and I'll be honest, almost any of them I could see as.
I don't see Saoirse Ronan happening.
Vanessa Kirby, I think, would be a good one. Jodie Comer would be a good one.
Vanessa Kirby's not a bad choice. I think she's actually like about my age, so she's fitting in that same age range too.
Yeah. I don't know about Amanda Seyfried. I
don't know about Amanda Seyfried either.
Or Lily James.
I could see Lily James happening because she's in the mindset too. Like, yeah, I would love to sign up for a blockbuster franchise. I think she's in that part of her career where she's super down for that. Plus, she's worked with Sebastian Stan, obviously, at this point.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like Jodie Comer would be good because she's coming in after working with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
So that might be. I don't know about Amanda Seyfried. Philippa Sue. Outside of like her being like Broadway theater, I don't know how I would feel with her like all of a sudden taking on this motherly role.
Yeah, that's okay. I was like, Philippa Sue. Well, I know that name.
Yeah. Hamilton.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen her do like really anything else other than like Broadway type of musical roles. So I don't know how she would play in a comic book movie.
She'd be an interesting choice for Sue. She'd be a very interesting choice.
Let me see.
I was thinking more of like a Samara Weaving type for Susan Storm.
I'm trying to look at everything else that's on here.
They have Human Torch and Thing on there.
So yeah, so I'm looking at Thing. So this article I'm reading off of right now is suggesting like Drew Powell.
Are these actual rumors, or is this article suggesting this?
The other one, the ones I said before were actual like Twitter rumors. This looks like this is more of like the article just saying like Drew Powell, Dan Fogler. Apparently David Krumholtz has thrown his hat in, suggesting to play Ben.
That's interesting. I don't know about that one.
Seth Rogen, Jason Segel.
The thing is, like, I'm really not behind most of those picks. I'm not interested. Like, your Seth Rogen and your Jason Segel types. I think Jason Segel out of those might be the best pick, but I'm not really interested in a Ben Grimm who's how do I properly say this? Kind of a goofy guy. I'm not interested in a goofy guy, Ben Grimm. I don't know if Ben Grimm's supposed to be a goofy guy. I think he's just supposed to be feel like he's supposed to be a pretty stocky dude.
He's supposed to be the muscle, the serious.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be the foil to Johnny Storm's antics.
Even before the transformation into the Rocky form, he's still kind of a stocky. He's a thick boy. So I don't know about the floofy, goofy guy. I don't know if that's the route you go there. I was thinking more of like the Alan Ritchson type. That's my pick still is Alan Ritchson, who is obviously having great success as Jack Ryan. Jack Ryan? Yeah.
No,
Jack Reacher. I was getting my Jack R's mixed up. Jack Reacher. He's got the size if they wanted to go practical. He's got the CGI suit work, having done the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies, the more recent ones. If they wanted to go, CGI with thing. Either way, I think he's set up. I think he's actually a pretty decent actor, so I think he'd be fantastic for Ben Grimm.
Fantastic Four. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Fantastic Four, Ben Grimm. Yeah.
Yeah. And then for Johnny, this article's talking about Rudy Pankow from, I guess, Outer Banks. I'm not sure exactly I don't know who Rudy Pankow is or Outer Banks. I'm not that familiar with that, but that's one rumor for Johnny. Alex Fitzalan from the Society. Again, I don't know who that is or that show or movie. Mason Gooding from Scream. I don't know if that's the movie or the TV show.
What was the second one you said?
Alex Fitzalan.
I don't know how to spell it, but sure.
Yeah. Mason Gooding from Scream. Again, I don't know that one. And then Brandon Perea from Nope. Angel from Nope. That's not a bad choice right there. But the thing with this to keep in mind is, again, this is supposed to be a family. Johnny and Sue are supposed to be brother and sister. So those two need to be characters that can play off of each other as a brother and sister. And then also, again, you've got Sue that is eventually going to be the wife of Reed Richards. So that needs to be two people that you could also naturally see as a caring couple, father, mother. So
everyone's chemistry has to be on fire. Everyone's chemistry has to be like firing on all cylinders with each other.
Yeah. So
those first two names that you just mentioned are very like standard. Yep, they look like Johnny Storm kind of picks. Okay. They both look like Johnny Storm. The other one that I've seen thrown around was KJ Apa. He also is another one of those very like Johnny Storm looking guys. Mm-hmm. And I think any of those kind of fit the age range that I was thinking about, which is got to be closer to like Tom Holland's range. Because Human Torch and Spider-Man, I think, should be pretty close in age, especially if compared to a Susan Storm that's in her early to mid 30s, Reed in his early to mid 30s. I think that's fitting. Like Johnny Storm's got to be somewhere in that 8-year younger kind of range.
So that's what the point I was making by bringing up the fact that they're a family is, sure, we're sitting here talking and discussing the casting for these individual characters, when in actuality, and the way I believe Marvel actually approaches it, is that you're having to cast not just one. You don't sit down like, okay, who's playing Human Torch? You have to sit down and think about the whole. You have to think roughly at least 3 of the 4, not necessarily the Thing, Ben Grimm, but you do need to plan the 3, Reed, Sue, and Johnny, as one. You can't cast them just based off of individual. You need like, okay, so we need to cast someone as Johnny who will work with Sue who will work with Reed. It needs to be thought of all in one go, not individually. And I think that's where it's going to come down to. Sure, we could say so-and-so would be great as Johnny, but then if you're going to cast whoever we're saying is casted as Sue Storm, might not be a good fit. So
right. I do like Brandon Perea, as we're talking about him. Mm-hmm. I do like him being a part of the MCU in some way. Obviously, like just like Tom Holland. I know Lego just mentioned it here. But just like Tom Holland, he's got some crazy videos out there trying to like put it out there into the universe. Like, I want to be a part of the MCU too. I think just like Tom Holland, best role for him isn't actually Human Torch. I think Spider-Man 2099 live action is his to grab. I think that is absolutely who he should be going for. And I think they should actually do like a full like Spider-Man 2099 movie of some sort with him. Because I think that would be kind of cool.
I don't know about movie, but I would be down for like a limited series. If they did like a Disney Plus series, or like he like plays a part in one of the upcoming Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, like another multiverse type situation, comes in, pops out of the Into the Spider-Verse universe, pops into live action. It's Brandon Perea playing him. Boom. Then he moves off into his own series. Give the dude all that. I think that'd be cool. Bring him in for like Secret Wars and stuff. Yeah. 2099 Spider-Man is literally like one of the coolest alternate Spider-Mans. So I would love to see that. I don't want to grab the figure. Yeah, I would love to see that character, that costume in live action too. I think that'd be dope. Yeah, I love like Miguel O'Hara, the character. Just I love what they did with him in the comics and stuff. So yeah, I agree. Yeah. Anyways, that's it as far as the casting. Like, I'm not seeing anything about like Doctor Doom or anything here. So, Nicolás Coster-Waldau, let's go. I mean, I do like that. That's a good choice for Doctor Doom. So, yeah, I think that's a pretty fire pick, actually. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I think again we keep our ear to the ground on D23 whenever it goes down, whenever it shakes down, and maybe we might get some Fantastic Four stuff then. So next week for the tagline, we will be probably going over like what we expect to see from D23, kind of like before Comic-Con we did an episode just what do we think we're going to see from Comic-Con. Some of that we were right, some of it we weren't. Yeah. Some stuff was released at Comic-Con that we had no idea was going to be released, like a John Wick trailer. So that will probably be next week. We'll go through what are we expecting to hear about D23. Spoiler alert, Marvel and Star Wars stuff. So, yeah. Anyways, that will probably be more discussed next week. So be ready for that. Yep. Anyways, that's probably going to do it for the episode tonight. So, yeah. Things that we want to go back over real quick. After this show, here in about almost exactly an hour from right now, I will be over on a Fans View YouTube channel. We're watching Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 2, which that will be interesting, especially if it gets kicked off of HBO while we're watching it. Who knows? I know Lego pointed out earlier that it may be like 12 midnight Pacific time, in which case we'll be fine. So that shouldn't be an issue at all. Anyways, that's going to be happening over there, 8:35 Pacific, 11:35 Eastern. So join us over there for that. That'll be a lot of fun. Anyways, that is it for what we have coming up. We'll make more announcements as more and more stuff gets produced and released. Anyways, yeah. You can follow us at Cinefanatics MLP on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you join the Patreon, patreon.com/Cinefanatics. If you have the means and if you want to support us, help us grow, please do so. Pick the tier that's right for you over there. Of course, streamlabs.com/Cinefanatics is always open anytime you want to support us, just as maybe a one-time support. That is open even if we are not live streaming, so you can do that as well. Make sure you like this video. Comment down below if you're watching this on a replay. Let us know what you thought. And yeah, otherwise you can follow me at Robert Adams MLP on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. And Chris, you can follow me at Chris Adams MLP on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd, as well as twitch.tv/Chris Adams MLP, where we're streaming, playing games, having fun, hanging out over there. We're going to be back on Sunday with some more Jackbox fun for everybody. And yeah, it's gonna be a blast over there. Just watch what you say. All right. Let's mind your P's and Q's. Okay. That's correct. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, that's going to do it for tonight. So thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all in the chat for being a part of this. That was pretty good. Pretty good conversations tonight. Enjoyed this. We will see y'all next week again, talking about D23 stuff. And yeah, good night, y'all. Bye-bye.